Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here. Welcome back to another Thursday live stream. As always, covering the hot topics, most up-to-date information on Transformers Earth Wars. So thank you everyone for joining me. In this week's stream, we're going to be looking at the new endurance bots. And as ever, giving my lowdown. And I'm just going to change my camera because I realised it's on blur and not remove. There we go. What else are we going to be looking at? We're going to talk about mayhem, endurance, and whether it's worth competing or not in the long run. So we're talking a bit about the bots and a bit about the events as well. We're talking a bit about some bot makeups, what best calls, what best combats to have. I've been doing this over the last couple of streams, so we're going to continue this to sort of help new players get an idea on the best setups for the most, the best bots in the game or thereabouts, and sort of work through. Then we're going to talk about a bot that's been huge in the meta over the years that could be falling away, and we're talking a bit about why that is, with a big meta shift that sort of happened over the recent 2 or 3 months. And then lastly, we're going to take a look at an old attack that was a bit of a special of mine, I would say, that I really enjoyed at some point in the game, and it sort of fell well away from the meta, that looks like it could make a comeback. I've been talking about why I think it's made a comeback and why it might actually be relevant in the current game. So, yeah, all that and more. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. We've reached 7,500 subs, which is a crazy amount that I would never dream I would reach when I set this channel up. And I know that some people look and go like, oh, yeah, well, there's people out there with 100,000 subscribers, and that's, that's decent. But you got to think it's a very niche game, Transformers Earth Wars, and so to get 7,500 subs from a niche game, I think is a massive achievement, and I'm super pleased. And a big thank you to everyone that subscribed and liked my videos, watched my videos, joined my streams. Huge thank you. So if you're not subscribed already, guys, hit that subscribe button and never miss another stream, never miss another video. Talking of videos, I've literally just started breaking up all the interview from the community manager from Space Ape Dale. That's getting broken up this week and posted to all my members to go and view in smaller chunks. So apologies for not really doing this a bit sooner. It's been absolutely manic in terms of like home life. I've literally, over the last month, I had obviously a bit of, I say flu, but it's been weird. It's still not even gone now. It's still sort of hanging around. I think into this 4th week now. Remember, it started 3 weeks ago where I didn't stream because playtest was playing up and I was a bit ill. And I wasn't too bad, but a bit of a cold. And I thought, I'm not feeling great. And that sort of Wednesday, Thursday was the start of it. Then the week after, I was literally floored. I was like really ill. And then last week, I was sort of getting over it, but I still had a bit of a sore throat. Still was coughing, as you've probably seen in last week's stream. So apologies for that. And even this week, I still got a bit of a sore throat, still a bit of stuff on my chest. So it's still not even 100% now. So I've had that as well. Jacob obviously was injured from football as well. I had quite a bit of injury, so I was sort of looking after him. And then last weekend, my wife fell down the stairs and broke her leg. So I say broke her leg. She actually dislocated her ankle, broke her fibula, and fractured her ankle as well. So that's been a bit manic as well. So literally all this week, I've literally been doing everything. I've been working, taking the kids to school, getting them ready, sorting everything around the house out, doing the shopping. You know, we obviously do both between us. It's not like I do nothing around the house, she's just everything, or vice versa. But I've literally had to do everything this week, so it's been absolute manic. So literally today is the first opportunity where I've actually felt decent enough to sort of start breaking this content down. So apologies, guys, for members that have not seen a lot of members' content out over the last few weeks. I know it's not been great, but I just want to make an apology. But it has been a really hard month. It's been the hardest month in terms of like getting content done that I've known since I've started the channel. But we are back on. I want to get sorted for Christmas because obviously Christmas is a manic time for me in my work, in my job. So that's manic anyway. So I want to get it all ready for Christmas. Have it all there for my members so they can watch some stuff over Christmas and stuff like that. And then I can sort of release it here and there to the general public. So thank you for sort of standing by me and standing with me and being understanding, guys. Thank you. But yeah, let's have a look who we've got in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, why does it keep doing this? It keeps saying that the stream is done, but then it refreshes. I don't get it. Yeah, someone's put that, did this live end. It's like, no, I don't. Weird. Very strange. Very strange. But let's see who we've got. So we've got Grind Time, my biggest member, biggest supporter, first in the chat. We've got Ricky Lau. We've got JNNX. What's your name in game? It's SS Wozza in game, which suits Sunstreaker Wozza, obviously. What else have we got? We've got Luke B. We've got Candyman. Another of my long-standing members. Thank you. We've got Mr. Steeler. Good to see you back. We've got Carnage Mac Art, as always. Blade 19. Another of my members as well. We've got Michael Cooper. We've got Chris Harmon. We've got my friend Trax Penny Lancaster. Good to see you. My good buddy Shani as well. We've got Autobot Phil. Another of my members, Volcanicus #1. Thanks for being a member also, buddy. We've got LJ Gav, Joseph Prime, Darklands, Mr. J. How's it going? Supreme Rules. We've got Volcanicus 69 as well. Jamie Carpenter, how's it going? And Stinger as well. Good to see you guys. Also members as well. Frostburning has become a member as well. Big thank you for supporting the channel. Huge thanks. We've got Johnny Butler as well. We've got Nexus, Officer Frost Burning in the chat as well. We've got Rage Blaster. We've got who else have we got? We've got Mystic Leo. Good to see you too. It's jumped ahead. So let me go back up again. Ninja Master Build as well. Thanks for joining. Who else have we got? Jason Rowley. We've got Mac Morder CF. Nose Cone, is he good bot in the current meta? Yes, I would say so. I would say any rush-in warrior is good. So you're talking likes of Pipes, you're talking Slug, you're talking Nose Cone, maybe even the likes of, you know, Jump Stream and bots like that if you don't have the 5-star version. So any rush-in warrior with a shield is definitely good. Chris Taylor as well. Jason Rollins asked, are all the defensive prime cores live? I don't know, to be honest with you. The problem I've got is, on my live account, I've got all the prime cores, so I don't even think I'll be able to see them. I don't know. The only one that's not available, obviously, is Alpha Trion, which is supposed to be coming out when they do the next upgrade from the next HQ upgrade, which is not coming anytime soon. So we're one short of the complete set, but it's not available yet. Sorry. What else? It kicked me to another video. Very strange. I need to look at this. I need to look into this. What video did it kick you to? Let me know. I'm intrigued into why it's doing this. I might have. So what happens is every week it says, do you want to refresh the stream and sort of start the same one again? Not the same one again, but like, you know, do you want to copy the same settings? And I do that. So I might just refresh, I think, and start again somehow. Very strange. Yeah, very strange. Rage Boss has put, I'm too broke to afford membership. Sorry, boss man. Hey, buddy, if you are subscribed, that is good enough for me. Honestly, like, I appreciate anything you can do. Like I said, if you can like a video, if you can subscribe, membership, if you can share my channel around, no matter what it is, I appreciate everyone for supporting me in whatever way you can. So appreciated. Let's have a look. Bit of talk saying Impactor got nerfed. That's the first I've heard. I've not heard anything about it. If I do, then I'll obviously cover it. But I've not heard that at all. Nexus put Impactor isn't as powerful as before. If we're talking In terms of meta, do we think Impactor is good in the meta? Then probably not, because of the increase in HP of most buildings for HQ 18. He struggles to destroy buildings. And yes, it is a case of when it takes. So what happened was my understanding was that it was a case of when he takes damage, it is more damage. But then there was a cap. There was cap on that, saying that he couldn't do over a certain amount of damage, and they removed that cap. But the problem being now is that it's all about the cluster. It's all about the MDS, the Age Core, the Micronus Core, around the Shield Gen. It's all about that. And no one really cares much about other defenses other than whatever's in that cluster, really, if I'm honest with you. And so Impact, although he's good at clearing other things, it's more a huge focus. There's just a lot more bots that do a lot better job at clearing big areas for a cheaper cost. So, from what I know, Impact hasn't been nerfed, but I think what they are saying in the chat is not as good as he used to be. He used to be amazing, but not as much, I presume. What else? Also, Phil, it's similar to a Jon Stewart video. Oh, right, so not in one of my videos. Oh, that's even weird. That's even more worrying. Did everyone get sent to a Jon Stewart video? I don't even know who the guy is. Let's have a look. Nexus, if you've got Onyx Prime on him, I would consider putting on Amalgamous instead. Amalgamous increases SA damage, so I would consider that. Maybe it's a case of that you had Amalgamous on before and you thought you had Onyx, because they do look a bit similar. They're the same colour. But I'm willing to bet that's it. I've not heard anything about Impacts doing less damage. That's not to say it hasn't happened. I'm just saying that I've not heard it. So you never know. And Dalton said that this other guy, Jon Stewart, was a comedian, a news anchor in the States. Alright, okay. Very strange. Very strange. But yeah, I would definitely change that Onyx Prime core to Amalgamous. That's the first thing I'd do. Yeah, people just tell me who this Jon Stewart is. I presume it's someone you've seen before. That's why I just sent you there, because it's a link to something that you've watched. I presume. That's why I don't know who he is. I'm sure if I was watching my stream back, I'd have got sent somewhere else. Cool. Nexus Put doesn't have Amalgamous. Right, that makes sense then. Then that's not the case, is it? Cool. Alright, let's have a look at this week's newsletter and we'll get into the subjects we'll talk about this week. Camera, there we go. Just sort of cut the top of my head off. There we go. So this weekend's event is called Glacial Epoch. I think, yeah, Epoch. I think that's how you say it. So it says a new season starts. It's the festive time of the year. So what happened was, normally it's an 8-week saga, as we know, but they've extended this for the reason being that the content for the endurance bot was not ready. And the idea was to increase this simply so that they have time for the endurance bot. But we still didn't get the endurance bot literally until last, I think it was this Monday, I think. Very, very late. So it's still going through testing. But this weekend's event is for a no dupe 4-star crystal, which is obviously really, really good for newer players to help increase their 4-star bots. So it's an individual totalizer, just one prestige, and it says obviously 4-star crystal, which is at like 900 points. So pretty much, if you're doing this event, you're getting a new 4-star. So yeah, decent event. I don't mind this event, especially near Christmas. And obviously giving away loads of spark, loads of troop XP. It's a nice, easy weekend before the big endurance next week. So it's just 10,000 points to complete the event. You can see there that everything's sort of scattered throughout. So nice, easy, chilled event. Then we've got the usual battle zones. It's not mayhem mode. And then we've got some weekend bundles. So I'm not a fan of these bundles. I've bought a few in the past, and I've never hit that 1% ever. And I reckon I probably opened 100 by now. So I'm a bit like, I'm not even going to try anymore. I just think 1% is a bit low, and especially for what they're offering. So they've got a Golden Lagoon core for 1%. I would actually put a Golden Lagoon core below the 35-star shards. I'd be a bit gutted if I got the Golden Lagoon core. It just shows how Space Ape still think that some of these things are desirable when they're not. So I'd put everything in that category above a Golden Lagoon. So Golden Lagoons are not that good, guys. So I wouldn't be aiming for that. If you're not going to aim for it 1%, but I'm not saying that. I wouldn't bother. Then we've got the new warming crystals. We've got a troop research skip item. I mean, you get them in the pass anyway, so it's not that big a deal, you know. And then we've got some shards, some 500 cyber coins, which I don't get why the 500 cyber coins aren't the 1%, and the troop research skip is in there, maybe, but I'm not going to moan about it. The cyber coins are a really good addition to there, so yeah, brilliant. And then we've got another one for Prime Core Shards, which is alright. I don't mind them. It's very good for new players. And a Troop Upgrade Ability skip item. 1% chance. It should still be, I think honestly it should be 30, 30, 30, and 10. Or it should be either 40% for the Shards, 10% for the Prime Core Shards, 10% for the Troop Upgrade. And same for the Golden Lagoon and the Shanix probably as well. 10% each of them. You know, that's a decent amount. I mean, if you're buying 10 crystals, which is still like $60 probably, $80, $100 maybe. If you're getting 10 of them, then you're gonna get one of those. But it's not a lot, is it? And they said, and also tons of 5-star shards, 5-star combat shards, premiums, sparks. So I presume it'd be the usual combat chips, premium chips, all 3 sparks, and it'd be some of these chests within them, but it'd be literally like for $10 be like one of each, something like that, I imagine. So not great. Game updates and information. So Cyberpass. So I said last week that I was really pleased with these skins. Really cool idea. I think they look really cool. I think SpaceX done well with these. So yes, these are actually some of the ones I might actually go for in the past. And for me, I've always been one of those people that I don't get nostalgic over bots really. I mean, I do when they get released. I know people want them in the game. It's good to see them in the game. But if they brought out Gears tomorrow, I'd be like, yes, brilliant, Gears coming to the game. But if it was rubbish, I'd be like, I'm not really fussed about using him or getting him. I know some people like to use bots that they know and they like within the, within the Transformers lore, but that's not sort of for me. But the one reason that I actually want these these skins is because it makes Optimus stand out a bit, being white. I always think about that. You know, I'd rather put a skin on so I can go, oh, I can find them a bit faster on the battlefield. That's more of a, it's more of a to help me, gain advantage some way in the game rather than, for the, the look of it. So yeah, I do like these skins though. So I probably might actually complete the whole pass to get the actual skins this time, because normally I just stop once I get the combat shards. I don't really bother with the skins. So, but even there, just noticed that the skin core is actually really, really low down after the fuel cap, so you're gonna get it really easy. That's a good thing. I always said that. I always said that the skin core should be right at the beginning of the pass. So when you buy the pass, you get the skin core. That's sort of a thank you for buying the pass. Here's the skin core, regardless. You don't have to work for it. I've always been baffled why it's the big prize. I'm like, it's not a bigger prize. So, yeah, I think this is where it should be all the time, if not right at the start, if I'm honest, personally, I think. Then Saga schedule. So obviously, strangely enough, into week 9, which is, unheard of normally. Normally week 8, we're doing the endurance. So into week 9 with obviously Mayhem Alliance endurance being next week for the new bot, which we're going to look at later. Then after that, we've got an individual totalize, a nice easy 10k event for 4-star no dupe combat. Yeah, I might compete in it, I might not, I don't know. And then we've got a 50k event from the 3rd to the 6th of Jan for the 4-star part for Raiden and Dino King. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm actually off that weekend, 50k. So I'm not sure it's going to be mayhem or not. I hope so for 50k. They always said that after a certain amount it should be mayhem mode, so hopefully it is mayhem mode. I think 50k. But yeah, if it is, I look forward to that. I will compete if it's mayhem mode. If it's not, then I might just wait for the parts to go out in 4-star shards because I've got a shed load. Oh, the Raid and Dino King 50k event will also be mayhem mode. Done then. Done. I'm getting it. Obviously, go and check out your content creators, myself, Freezer Max, and Soldier, as always. And go and check out the next team stream on the 19th of December, where they're also going to showcase the bots. And I'm hoping we might actually get a look at this new war thing they're doing, this new war update that they've been working behind the scenes for 2 years on. And they finally said it should be out before the end of the year. And this is literally the last chance they've got, because on the 20th of December, everyone breaks up for Christmas, I think. And we won't see them again until literally like the second week of Jan, like the 7th of Jan, 10th of Jan, something like that, will be the next stream, I imagine. Although back at work, I imagine, and then the stream will be after that. So, fingers crossed we might actually get to see this new war rework next week, hopefully. Let's have a look at the chat. Let's see what everyone's sort of saying. Finally, rank skips in the Cyber Pass. It doesn't really bother me. I'm not a big fan of rank skips, I'm honest with you. Volcanicus puts combiner skips were better. Yeah. What else? A binary would be epic. Yeah, it would. I mean, Dale said we probably would see it eventually after it's sort of like exclusivity period. Volcanicus said it's hit 1% a few times. That's good. Yeah. Darklands, I've got 10 Legumes sitting in bridge. Haven't had need for them. Yep, same. Not a need. Nexus, how good is 5-star Primal? Do you mean Optimus Primal or do you mean Monkey Prime? Let me know which one you mean. Rage Blaster, how good is 5-star Soundwave? Pretty good at lower levels. He struggles a bit once you get to the higher levels like HQ 18. But at the start, those minions are immense. Absolutely immense. Like having an extra 4 bots on the field. I would say right up to about HQ 16, 17, Blast is one of the best bots in the game. I would really go at 5. I was on my war team for a long time. Massive fan of Blaster up to about HQ 18 and then just dies a bit too hard. Since the Russian Warriors came out with all the added HP and health and the shields, any bot without that seems to struggle a bit. So, him being a special as well and not having a lot of HP compared to some of the massive warriors that we have nowadays, that's where he struggles. Yeah, Primal is trash. Yeah, Volcanica 69's put Quintus Prime Core if you've got it on Blaster with Traxodon and Pterodactyl, and yeah, he'll be immense. The Primes K pulled a 5-star Leo Prime last weekend. Congratulations on pulling probably the best bot in the game right now. Very, very good. Nexus, is Arc really the strongest Titan? I would say so. Yes. I have actually tried a few things recently, seeing if I can do some other things with other Titans, and it's failed miserably. So, yeah. Yeah, LJ Gav, good tip for everyone. If you buy the pass of the Cyber Store, you get a bonus 200 points. So you get everything a bit quicker. What else? Volcanicus 69. I'm still wondering about Volcanicus and Predaking. So Dale was working on them and Dale's fell ill. I think Dale's got what I've had. So it's going to be written off, I think, till after Christmas now. But it was working on them with the hope to sort of bring them out over Christmas time, which obviously that doesn't show in the saga now. So I think it'll be early next year. He is sort of starting work on that and starting work on Cyclonus and Powerglide as well. So I think that will always come beginning of next year. It'll come. Could he Fox put? We could use another medic, another one. We've got 5. Is it 5 we got? At least that's just 5 just absolute medics. We've obviously got healers in the game like Springer and Sandstorm and stuff like that. So I think we've got enough healers. I mean, I won't complain they bring out another one, but I'm not sat here going, we need another one. Have we got 5? I'm trying to think actually. Oh yeah, first aid. Yeah, I forgot about first aid. Is that rubbish? Supreme Rose has put prime shards for binaries. I'm presuming means an exchange. Needs to be added to the game to make them worth something. I don't think we'll see that. I really don't. I don't think we'll see that at all. The primes. I heard about SB Prime or Trip Up. Is good on Leo. Is that correct? I'm not a fan of Trip Up personally. But yeah, I think any sort of well, no, I think there's better combats out there. Weapons, I think weapons are better than combats on Leo Prime personally. But Mr. J's put my 5-star god Neptune is a beast so far. Definitely the best combiner in the game by far. Steve Pierce has put, did they buff Leo Prime? I swear at least he was bad. Nobody ran him. Well, I actually covered this in one of my as part of my interview with the community manager, Dale. And the problem was that when he was in test, he wasn't doing the numbers that he should. But the problem was that when you look at Sunstreaker, he does damage in an area, and then around that is imagine in real life dropping a bomb and hitting a target. Now that bomb will do the full damage to that target, and then it'll do an explosion, and then it'll do like after effect and fire and radiation and everything like that. So the way I looked at it was it's going to do damage in a line and high damage, and then around that it'll do a percentage like Sunstreaker. And if you go and test Sunstreaker out, go and try it, go and aim for a defense. And if you put like a few defenses in a cluster, wherever you hit right in the middle, maybe close to the side of it, it'll do the full damage it states, so about 7k at max. As a 5-star, I think, something rubbish like that, or 9k maybe. Not very good damage. More like 7k, yeah. And then around it, it'll do like 4k damage. And I queried that years ago with Yanis, and sort of said like, is this right? Surely it should be the same damage throughout and do that in an area. He goes, no, it depends on how many rockets hit, and because it's fire damage, it tends to do more in the middle, and it sort of like, comes out. So I always thought Leo Prime was sort of based on that you can't really look at the numbers of fire and guarantee the damage. And so when I was testing him, I didn't really get into, is it doing the right damage? And some people might criticize me for that and say like, well, maybe you should have asked questions and thinking, but you sort of presume it because everything that's got fire doesn't do the correct sort of damage really, unless it's right in the middle of it. So long story short, basically we thought it was doing the right amount of damage, and I literally, this is sort of why I sort of got kicked out of playtest at the start of the end. I was like, this is ridiculous, this is a joke, this is stupid, it's rubbish. And it was. Then the bot came out, and then I think the ape somehow realised that he was doing a lot less than what he should on the tooltip. Now, me personally, I would have looked at it, tested it and gone, yeah, this guy's doing far too much damage. I'd have gone, right. To the community, I'd have gone, listen, there's been a mistake with Leo Prime. He stated to do this. He's actually doing this. We're going to meet him in the middle. We're going to increase the amount of damage he's doing. But according to the tooltip, it's going to be a bit less. But he's actually doing more than what he's currently doing. It's going to be a buff in a way. And I've done that. But they've gone, which I kind of get. They've gone, no, we're going to stick to the tooltip like we have with other bots. And we're going to make it as it is. And it does stupid amount of damage. Stupid amount of damage. Crazy amount. To the point where now they need to find something to balance that, and I don't think they can anytime soon, going off their track record of balancing things like this. And so now he's one of the most OP bots in the game that everyone needs, basically. And it all stems down to not really testing it correctly in playtest. Whether you want to blame the playtesters for that, whether you want to blame the 8s for that, but yeah. Which one is better, Leo or Optimal Optimus? I would still say Leo Prime. Optimal Optimus is good, but Leo Prime is the best bot in the game. Yeah, Ninja Master Builders port. I got a 4-star Predacon Inferno on my Decepticon account. Over 51, and these shreds bases. Definitely. I no doubt. Vic Ching, one of my members as well. Good to see you, buddy. That Oasis concert is getting closer. I've said that I'll meet up with Vic Ching at the Oasis concert because I'm a huge Oasis fan. Obviously, they've been away for years. No one's seen them. Obviously, I heard of them. They've obviously weren't friends for years and started touring again. And so, obviously, being living in Manchester, I live about 4 or 5 miles away from where the concert's being held. So that's a bit handy. And luckily got tickets because they were like gold dust. And Vic Ching is apparently going the same day. So I said I'd try and meet up with him. Leo Prime destroys cluster bases even with Max Fire Dome. Yes, I believe so, yes. I like taking out the Billbot regardless still, but... yeah, Steve Pierce put that makes sense. Every team is now Pipes, Optimal, and Leo. Yeah. And then Vic Ching's just saying "Double Back in Anger" with the musical notes. I know, you know what? That's not actually my favorite song. I'm not even a big fan of that song. Don't really like it. I don't like songs that are overplayed. You know, songs that you just hear that everyone, songs that you would hear someone singing that's not an Oasis fan. I don't really like. So I'm not a big fan of Wonderwall. I'm not a big fan of Double Back in Anger. Little by Little, you know, things like that. I'm not a big fan of those songs. I like sort of the B sides and the album tracks and things like that. Ones that people have not really heard of. Any update on Dino Biners 5 thinking? It's gonna start in the new year. And Steve Pierce put Slide Away, and that is actually the lyrics that I've actually got written on my arm there. That is actually the lyrics to Slide Away. You can't really read it from there, but it is. That's the lyrics to Slide Away, which says it all, really. You can actually see my tattoo there. You can actually see it says Slide Away, just like I think it says Slide Away on the guitar there. So, yeah. What else? Yeah, Master Ninja's put. Did you see the Hasbro Pull stream? I didn't watch the stream, but I saw they were doing a stream with toy releases. So yeah, with a Sonic the Hedgehog crossover. Oh no, I don't like crossovers. I hate crossovers. I seen people getting all like starry-eyed over the DeLorean Transformer. I was like, and the Ghostbuster Transformers collaboration, and even like G.I. Joe, and I'm like, no, I'm not a fan. Now Sonic the Hedgehog, what is going on? Also, what Phil's put, Double Back in Anger is a giant rip-off of Imagine. Yeah, obviously, there's a made-up sequel about that. There's loads of things that they've ripped off. And they've been honest about it. They've gone, yeah, we did. They ripped off T-Rex as well, haven't they? They ripped off a Coca-Cola advert. They've ripped off loads of things. Vic Chins put, love your tat. Yeah, I've had it for quite a while, so I've got, I've obviously got my guitar there, because I actually play guitar, believe it or not. Not so much anymore, but I've got the guitar there. I've got the Oasis lyrics on the inside of my arm there. And then I've obviously got my Transformers there. I've got, obviously, Hot Rod Rodimus with the Matrix. And it says, till all I want, around the bottom. And then I've got my son's name in Hebrew with my arm as well. So, there you go. So, I plan on getting something on this arm eventually, but it's like, I had an idea what to get. And it's like, I've always had the money, and I was like, I've got the money for it, but I'm like, but I'd rather go and buy that for the kids, or I'd rather go and spend it on that, or there's always something else to spend it on. You're like, I can't really justify it going spending like, you know, £500 on half a sleeve, when I'm like, yeah, but they probably need that actually, and Jake needs some new football boots or that. Yeah, there's always something to spend it on. Yeah, Berserk's put crossovers are cool and doesn't play other figures. I'm just not a fan. Just my opinion. Ramquakes put any news on the new bot? Yeah, only a week. We'll be covering it later on in the stream. I always leave the big sort of like, you know, new content till towards the end of the stream, so stay tuned. Darkland said Target had an exclusive Optimus Prime selling a couple of months ago. Optimus Prime with Bullseye. Bullseye? There's only two Bullseyes that I know. One was the Marvel character. in Daredevil. Think so, yeah, in Daredevil. Another one was the UK game show, which is a darts game show called Bullseye. I doubt it was that somehow. If you're from the UK, you'll know what I mean. I wonder if you get a free speedboat with Optimus Prime. Sorry, that's a UK joke. Prime's KI run nose cones, a true tank. Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, very good bot. Yeah, OJ Gas put, yeah, UK game show ad. The bull called Bully. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, Ninja Master Builders put, I gotta admit, I wish they went for Transformers Prime Dreadwing and not the G2 Dreadwing. I'd rather them go for the G1 Dreadwing. G1. But hey, Volcanica 69's but he'll be another Powerglide Cyclonus. Who will be? I don't know what you mean by that. Meaning is in like being reworked, I think, but yeah. Blade 19, you don't get a speedboat, you get a caravan. Either way. Alright. The bullseye is a dog with a target label over its eye. Okay. Not as good as Bully then. Not as good as Bully. Yeah. If you want to laugh, go and look at UK game show Bullseye. It is so funny. Honestly, it's so poor, it's so bad, so 80s. But yeah. Yeah, Dreadwing and Darkwing. I am a big fan. I have said, oh yeah, I'm supposed to try and find them, won't I, and get them out actually. Have I got them? Have I got them anywhere? I need to find them. It's really bugging me now because I used to love them as a kid. I'm gonna find them. I am gonna find them when I've got time. I am. Okay, cool. Let's go into the game and then we'll have a talk some subjects and have another bit of a chat as well in a bit. Okay, cool. So, I know this is not a traditional setup for a base. Before anyone comments, I know some people will say like, "Oh, it's not a proper representation of a base." But obviously, we do see a lot of these bases where they're obviously at the front, a lot of resources, and then at the back is a lot of defenses. And all I've done is just move the resources up because I didn't want to do splits and things like that, and I didn't want to knacker the attack up in some way and have to restart it again. So it's literally just for streaming purposes, but you will see the method in it and see that it doesn't make much difference to what I'm doing. There are some changes you could make to make it a bit easier, leaving a bot down below to get you points, which to be honest with you, probably work in your favour in a way. But it's just working out the pathing. Once you get that worked out, it will work exactly the same. But, so a few of you may remember a video I did many years ago. You're talking HQ16 days. And I was using Goldfire, Star Saber, Cheetor, Sentius. Very, very old video. Like I said, most of these bots that you can see on the screen right now weren't even around that time. And it involved using Goldfire, using Star Saber, maybe a liter, so a huge amount of damage, and then whatever was left, you would clean up and smash. And I named that Cleanup Crew, and I actually love that attack, and it worked to great effect. You would use Goldfire twice maybe, try and pop some outposts, try and avoid some mines. You would use Star Saber on the other side to sort of go across and try and kill most defenses, and where they both met or crossed, that would generally destroy them. But there was no Micronus core on defense, no healing on defense, so whatever damage you did, it left it at that HP, and you would usually lose at least one of those bots. I would generally maybe have Vector on to get them back to the launch pad, but the idea was simply just to do a lot of damage in a big area, and then I would let rip with a lot of cleanup bots. And it worked really, really well. Used Volcanicus at the time. He was the best combiner at the time, which shows how long ago it was. And it worked really well. And it got me thinking that with the release of Leo Prime now, rather than sacrificing those likes of Goldfire and Star Saber, could we do this without sacrificing bots. It was very hard to run healers in this team back then because of that. Because you would send Goldfire and Star Saber and the healer would go to them straight away, try and heal them and just die. So you couldn't really run healers. But now we've got Leo Prime that can do huge damage in a line, in an area. Then you can do it from the launch pad pretty much, or from a good distance away. So the idea is generally is to do a lot of damage with Leo Prime, and then using sort of spam bots like Rotorstorm, like Laser Optimus, like Sentius Magnus, or bots to that effect, just to clean up. Now I know Leo Prime is doing 80% of the damage, but what you find is that it's 80% damage and there's certain defenses that he can't quite finish off on his own, and that's where these bots come into it. Now, as you can see here, that I wanted to sort of do this, but I thought, if I'm going to do this, I don't have 5-star Rotorstorm. I don't have 5-star Sentius Magnus. I could go and pull them literally tomorrow if I wanted to, but I've literally got those two leveled up quite high. I've got Sentius Magnus at around 65, 64 on my main account. I've got Rotorstorm, I think, at like 62, 63, I think, on my main account, because when Rotorstorm came out, I was quite a bit of a fan of his and thought it was quite cool. So I've got the 4-star version of these quite high already. I thought, I'm going to test it with the 4 stars, see how effective it is. And I could just level the 4 stars in an endurance, get them up there, and maybe use them in this attack. So every single bot you see on the screen right now, I've actually got maybe a bit of a lower level in terms of Rotorstorm and Sentius Magnus anyway, available in my live account. It's very easy to go on a playtest and just go, throw all these bots in, guys. This is what you can use. But I thought, I'm going to put some 4 stars in and see how effective it actually is. So all we're going to do, we're going to attack from this side, and we're going to try and go up one side if we can. We'll drop pipes down first, and slug. Drop our healers down, Leo Prime, and then the rest after that. So I'm just going to rush pipes in to keep him alive, and then we're going to do a bit of Leo Prime. And then straight away we're going to use Rotorstorm because he does more damage the amount of defenses that he kills. I'm going to do Laser Up as well, and we're going to do another Leo Prime there, and we're going to do Sentius as well. I'm going to do another Leo Prime over there. I'm going to do another Leo Prime up there. We can throw pipes up there as well. Let's throw... now it's the case of literally just finishing things off. So we're just struggling with this bot here for the minute. So I'm going to put a healing tower down to keep these alive. Let's kill that up there. We'll put that outpost up there with the slug. Gonna put pipes up there to try and help destroy this as well. And you see there that we've not used our combine or anything. I mean, there's no combiner on defense, to be fair, but we could easily just chop our combiner, so. Probably going to lose Wheeljack there because he's run off. And turns out I've not put too much thought into this, to be honest with you. I've literally just gone, yeah, I'm going to like, yeah, just send these bots in and just spam them. But you can see there, we've literally just wasted the base. Let's just fast forward this now. Use that under rat just to make sure. And there we go. Face down. No real thought, no real process put into it. It's just literally just using the old prime, using those spam bots and just spamming the hell out of them abilities and just clearing a huge area very quickly. Now I know people are going to say, yeah, but what about fire build bots? What about anti-acid build bots? Very easy to eliminate them. It's very easy. All you just do is take Smokescreen in your team, pick them out first for Smokescreen and win those points back. It's not going to make much difference. And like we sort of said in stream before, that if you can get rid of the anti-fire build bots, then you can just spam literally the old prime and aim for the build bots in a line and kill everything, even the acid build bots and whatever else. And you can see there as well that we didn't go to take out the shield gen. We didn't worry about Liege. I put a lot of like anti-hack in my team. Looking at it again. So we've got pipes in there. We've got Forza Solus Prime with hack immunity. We've got Leo Prime in there with Forza Solus Prime with hack immunity. We've got Rotor Storm. He's put SBOT's Prime in him. It's a bit of reflection, a bit of healing. A bit of healing there. Sentius Magnus. Sword of Balance. A bit of extra damage. But then you look at Slug. So it's got Bash Breaker. Probably better putting maybe who's the other one on him? Buzzstrike maybe, just to make him anti-hack as well. And you ain't got to worry about the age either there. Megatronus and Slug on pipes. Obviously has Acid and Quintus. So, you know, the setup for it is very easy, guys. It literally just is put some anti-hack in there, especially on your tanks. So you haven't got to worry about the age. Just using loads of ability points on everything in a line, basically, and just smashing the hell out of it. Dead simple. So if you've got some of these bots available, again, you could probably put Impactor in there as well, 4-star at a higher level to help you out. All you need is basically high-level Leo Prime and some good tanks and some bots that can clear an area very quickly and do a lot of high damage very quickly. And you're good to go. So, go and give it a try in some high-level wars, even some low-level wars, even some medium-level wars. Go and give it a try and let me know if it works out for you. Will we see Cleanup Crew 2.0 for HQ18? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Viable or not? So let's see what you guys are saying about this. Calvin's put, Wozza sound like an old man talking about Goldfire. I know, that was years ago. What else? Candyman, I suggested Cyclone's ability to be a laser blast that does as much damage as rockets, but when used, it bathes the whole deployed squad with the power of Unicorn, giving them 8% shield for 6 seconds. Not a bad idea. For the sacrifice bots, you can use Hot Rod's ability. I mean, if you've got the FFD, then that's going to be a problem. Maybe not so much. But it gets costly as well, using that and the sacrifice bot. It gets quite expensive. And yeah, Volcanic 69's put Star Saber is a bit expensive. The thing about Goldfire and Star Saber, that cleanup crew will probably work at HQ 16 and below right now. Doing a lot of damage and cleaning up. Just not at high levels. Kyle Collins has put Leo Prime and Sea Spray from launch. Yeah, that's a good method as well. What else? Volcanic 69 is put Slug is cheaper. With that shield lasts longer. I mean, it means cheaper than Saber, not cheaper than Pipes though. Cuddy Fox has put, I use Leo a lot, but I have to use a basic G Metal core on him. I do not have Leo G Metal metrics. His G Metal core is really good for him. Volcanicus, I use Slingshot 2 on that team. Yeah, if you're using fire damage or acid, is very good. Yeah, Dalton's put got Skids, Rook, Optimus, Scattershot, Leo, and Wheeljack. Yeah, fire acid team. Sounds good. I mean, you got all the problem is though, if you put acid in there, you need to get rid of the acid build bots and the fire build bots and maybe the FFD. Just be obviously like mindful of that, really. Steve Pierce has put Rotor Storm reminds me of a game called Desert Strike. Wow, I remember that. Jungle Strike was my one. I played Desert Strike, and I think Jungle Strike was the second one. Jungle Strike was good, man. I played that a lot back in the day. Yeah, that was one of my games. That was like a game that I smashed back in the day. It was a good game. Very good for the time. Wow, yeah. Take it back. Volcanic 61 has put, I could pull Rook, but I'm going after Whirl. Well, hold that thought. Don't do anything yet. CF Tactics, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. David Lee, I'm waiting to get a 5-star Predicate on Inferno Leo Prime to put on my main team. I have 4-star Barricade in place. Yeah, Barricade is no comparison to Leo Prime. Supreme Rules has put sitting on 11k 5-star shards. Rotor Storm is guaranteed pull. Tempting. If you've got spare shards, then why not? But it depends if there's something else you want. David Lee's put, I have the 3-star Predicate Inferno, so not as well as the 4-star. If you're depending on what HQ level you are, I would still use it. Even the 3-star is that good. Ninja Master Builders put, I still use Gold Fire and Star Sail, but for outpost spot distraction and taking shields or powerful defenses out. Yeah, definitely low levels, not high levels, but definitely I would say below Cybertron. Definitely. Next support Impactor, Ultimate Optimus, Blaster, Hound, Twin Twist are my only 5-star bots. I'd say apart from Hound, you've got a very good collection there, but then I would go for the new batch. Go for the current batch and go and clear it. You will not be disappointed. Carvin's put, if Whirl is what you need for 5-star Ruination, then go for it, but Rook is still better. Well, while we're on the subject of Rook, that is actually the next topic. So, recently I've been doing some wars, doing some testing some things out. And what I've found, which you can even see for this team that I just used for a different sort of video, I've actually not been using Rook that much. I've actually took Rook out of my war team completely. And there's good reason for that. Is that what I've generally done, I've generally been running, if I need to run 2 tanks, I've been running Pipes and Slug. And there's a few reasons for this. Is one, you've got the acid from Pipes, and you've got the fire from Slug, which when you combine the two, does crazy amount of damage in the area. And especially if you're trying to run Megatronus on Slug as well. It just adds so much fire to that area. Now, yes, listen, I could easily run Pipe, Slug, and Rook. But what I find that Rook dies very quickly. And I know that most people will say that they need an outpost popper. But what I'm finding is that I think the key to most top level wars right now is taking the build bots out before you even start the attack. And once you've took them out, then you kind of start the attack in a way. Now, what you'll find is on most bases, you'll find that you've got 2 FFDs halfway up the base, and then right at the back, you've got anti-fire cores, anti-water cores, anti-acid cores, cores like that around the shield gen, trying to stop you from killing the shield gen. And so what happens is the FFDs are actually quite easy to take out. And we've talked about Leo Prime being the most overpowered bot in the game. And so, because everyone is scared to death of Leo Prime, we're finding that FFDs are becoming less and less prevalent in base design. Where normally, I remember a time where I ran 5 FFD cores. I remember someone messaged me going like, oh my god, that was so overkill, but such a bit of a nightmare. I had to use so many points to take them all out. It was surprising. And yes, it does leave you open to something else. But FFDs are not like the go-to core that they used to be. And because of that, the likes of Pipes and the likes of Slug are becoming easier to use and better at protecting your team. Now, when we compare the 3 bots, you've got Pipes for 3 ability points plus 1. You've got Slug for 3 ability points plus 2. And then you've got Rook at 5 plus 3. So where you might be able to use Rook to pop a couple of outposts from range for 5 ability points, you can actually use Pipes twice and it'd be cheaper. 3 plus 1 means it costs 3 plus 4, that's 7 ability points for 2 rushes. Whereas Rook is 5 plus 3, 5 plus 8 is 13 ability points. That's a lot of ability points. Now, again, you could say, oh, but you can pop from range with Rook. But if you can take out them FFDs before you really start the attack, you're kind of free to zip Slug and Pipes around, popping outposts whenever you want to. There's been a few times where I've used Rook to pop an outpost and it hasn't quite reached, or it's walked the wrong way, or I've only popped 2 outposts and I could have popped the other one. There's also times where I've not wanted to pop an outpost and it kind of has for some reason or another. I'm going away from hollows, if I'm honest with you, and trying to keep my team all together. And then what I tend to do is, because you tend to find that you've got 2 outposts set at the bottom, you've got a combiner somewhere in the middle, and you've got 2 outposts higher up. I'm finding what I try and do is pop the 2 outposts that are lower and the combiner, battle them, just them 3 first, and then once that attack is over and my combiner's died and I've sort of battled them, then I can pop the other 2 however I please. And whether that is a twin twist, it doesn't matter because I've got Pipes' shield. Whether it's Beachcomber, it doesn't matter because Pipes is quite high HP, low DPS, so he won't die very quickly. And so Pipes and Slug give you that bit more freedom, that they can be used to pop outposts, that they can be used to distract defences. And listen, this is nothing new. I'm not telling anyone here that Pipes and Slug are better Rook, and I don't think anyone's realised that Rook is not better than those. I don't think anyone was sat there thinking Rook is better than Pipes and Slug. But the point I'm making is that people use Rook because of FFDs. Because it wasn't negated by FFDs, wasn't negated by anything. There was no counter for him. But as the counters for Pipes and Slug become less of a meta, they become even more meta bots than what they used to be. So I could see Rook actually falling away a bit from the meta. More and more. Listen, we might see some new outpost bots come out, some good endurance bots that are going in outposts that might look at Rook and might then think, you know, I'm going to replace Pipes and Slug because it removes shields. Maybe. And that might bring Rook back into the meta again. Listen, we might see more FFDs come back. But while we've got Leo Prime doing the damage he does, while we've got God Neptune and Ruination doing the damage that they do, while we've got the Titan with the acid in an area to take up the shield gen, while you've got all these overpowered things in the game to take out that cluster, to take out huge areas, and people are scared to death of those, it just leaves Pipes and Slug that bit better. So, before you go and look at Rook, before you go and pull Rook, consider going for Pipes or Slug instead. Nexus support, should I use Hound? Not really. Won't bother. Darkland support, I don't worry about poppers. Yeah, same. I don't really use it that much, which I'm mad that I'm saying that. But yeah, I have for years. But yeah. Darkland support and you can't have 2 hollows. Yeah, good point. Why don't they add 5-star Titans? Because 4-star Titans are already overpowered as they are. So the last thing you want is 5-star Titans yet. Metabet support, is 4-star SP Prime Megs worth leveling? Yeah. Yeah, pretty decent combat. Yeah. CF Taxi support, if you want an outpost pop, use Vector Prime instead. Cheaper ability. I don't like Vector Prime at all. I'm not going to lie. It's very similar cost to Rook. Similar range, because the problem is that Vector Prime sits back from Rook. So although he's got better range than Rook. He sits back further, so the Rook is the same, but then the Hollows do jump a bit further on than Rooks do, but it's not really dependable. You don't know where they're really going to jump to. And outside of that, he's pretty crap. So he's only an outpost popper. And literally we're sat here saying that outpost poppers are not really desirable. And the last thing I would do is put in an outpost popper that's not that much better than Rook. I don't see the point me in leveling another outpost popper that doesn't give you a mass advantage over Rook. It doesn't. I would advise someone to go and get Pipes or Slug and level them over getting Vector Prime, and especially when the 5-star version is not even available yet, and most people rely on the 4-star. So I wouldn't bother personally. Ninja Master Builders put, maybe I should put my 5-star Pipes on my main Autobot team and take out Goldfire. Yes, yes. Why have you not done that already? Why? Nexus put, yeah, I agree, but can't they do something about it? What, you mean like make the game harder than what it is already? A lot of people are struggling, even at the top parts of the game. And last thing to do want to make it harder, which they need to. They can't just have 5-star Titans and have a Titan wiping out a top level base. So yeah, I don't want to make the game too much harder. Shockbomb 28, what about Drill Horn, Nose Cone with Megatron, the same cost? Yeah, it is. They do have a Reflect, so a bit slower though. I prefer Pipes and Slug to Nose Cone, but I think Nose Cone is a close second behind them. Just because it's a bit slower to target, but I do like that Reflect that he has. So, yeah. Andrew Stevens put, oh no, I got Rook recently and invested in him, took him to ability 11. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say Rook's awful. Rook is not awful. He's not going to fall away from the meta and go like, oh, this is an awful bot. Don't worry about investing in it. I've invested ability 11. I'm not sitting here saying Rook's awful. I'm just saying there's better options. That's what I'm saying. Slag with 5-star Volcanicus. Stew becomes better again. Yeah. Good reason to pull him. Steve Pierce, how long will Leo Prime be relevant? I only pulled his 4-star last week. Quite a while, I think. Look at Pipes. 18 months ago, was it 2 years ago? He got his rework, and look at him. If Leo Prime is really that good, I should listen and go for him. It's not just that. So, honestly, like, give me a second. I'll go Decepticons because I've cleared the batch. I think that says a lot, really. But Legacy 16. So you're talking Wild Rider. Absolutely amazing bot. Predacon Inferno. Alright, let's change this a bit. Wild Rider. Probably the best gunner in the game. Predacon Inferno. The best bot in the game and definitely the best special bot in the game. Deluge. Oh, start again. Wild Rider and Blue Streak. Best gunner in the game. By far. Predacon Inferno and Leo Prime are the best special bot in the game and probably the best bot in the game. Deluge and... It's so hard when you look at the screen lights, remember them. Deluge and Beachcomber, probably the best defense bot in the game. Huffer and Lockdown are alright, they're pretty good. And Drillhorn and Nose Cone are probably the 3rd or 4th best tank in the game as well. So, why wouldn't you go for this batch? Because literally, whatever you go for in this batch, you can't have a bad pull. Every other batch, there's bots you look at and go, yeah, they're not very good. They're not in the meta. They don't fit your team. But I will guarantee, no matter what you pull here, you'll be pleased with once you level up. Even Huffer and Lockdown to a degree. I wouldn't be aiming for them, but I wasn't disappointed when I pulled them, really. So, very, very good batch. I literally, like I said, so just to prove a point, I can't show one here actually, but I've cleared that batch. It's shown here as well, but I've cleared it. There's very few batches that I've cleared, and that is definitely one of them. Andrew Stevenson's put Freezes likes Vector. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say he's wrong for liking Vector. If that's what he likes and he likes to use that, then fair enough. Me personally, not so much. I'm not even sure that he's actually working right as well, because he was bugged when he was released. He wasn't stunning, and there was something else in it, and he was also getting hacked on defense as well. So I'm not even leveled mine yet. I'm not even bothered. I got it. I took part in the endurance to get him, not because I wanted the bot, but wanted the resources, and I wanted to compete in mayhem mode to see if it could be done, for what amount. So but I'm not sold on him yet. Down to spot, I have 5 squads built for mayhem mode. 3 are borderline war quality for Prime League. Vector is not any of them. I'd probably put Vector on a team if I wanted an outpost popper. So I'd have Pipes on one, I'd have Slug on another, I'd have Rook on another, and I'd have Vector. Yeah, listen, I'm not sat here saying Vector's awful, but I wouldn't say he's great either, though. Ninja Master Builder, well, good thing I got 5-star dive bomb on my Decepticon account. So I got to do it. Darklands, I got lucky and pulled Predacon Inferno, 2-2 Megatron and Deluge from Premium Gate. Bundles for the auto account, very good pulls. Andrew Stevenson, I've seen After Break have been used, amazing news. Yeah, it's a good sack bot, but that's about it really though. Shot Bomb Lockdown is just for dispatch missions for me. Yeah, I think he's still good for leveling and good to put in a team. Yeah, I'd put him in one of my teams. You know, there's certain bots that I wouldn't. So, for example, I would put him over Scattershot. I'd put him over Orion Pax. I'd put him over Goldfire. I'd put him over Inferno. I'd put him over Grapple. Sludge. I'd put him over Whirl, Scattershot. I'd put him over Sunstreaker, Hotspot, Tiger Hawk, Cheetor, Hound, Skyburst, Prowl, Primal, Strafe, Impactor, Topspin probably. So you see, like, he's sort of like this middle section of good bots. Offer. Thanks to Drift as well. You know, the legacy bots, decent bots, but not, you know, war bots, game breaking bots. That's the point I'd make. Volcanica 69. I only pulled 2 from batch 15 and didn't go back. Batch 15 is that the Scattershot batch? Is it? I think I have to go back to the cons and have a look at that. Batch 15. Yeah. Well, I pulled Slug from this batch, and then I think so. I think I might have pulled 2 from this batch actually. But Alpha Trion and Slug, I think, and I left it. Yeah, I think so. Left it at that. Jamie Carpenter's put my Nova Prime is maxed, and I'm not impressed. This says a lot, really. If Jamie Carpenter's got him maxed out as well, says a lot, really. Nexus, I already used 4-star Beachcomb on my war team, so I know he's useful. Yeah, very good. Darklands, I've got 1 batch left, 1 bot in it. Cheetor, no plans to finish it. Yeah, fair point. David Lee, would knockout pair well with Predacon Inferno? Yes. Yeah, they would. It can be quite expensive, but he's got good range. Go and get his G1 as well. Very good G1. One of the better G1s for skids. Knockout, definitely. How do you rate Smokescreen for dealing with warbots? For dealing with warbots, pretty good. For dealing with billbots, one of the best. That's what I use him for getting rid of billbots from the launch pad. The amount of range that he has is silly. I reckon from the launch pad here, he'd be able to take out every billbot apart from this one. But these, yep, he'd take these out. He would take these 3 out from the launch pad. 1, 2, 3. Then have to walk him round, and then when he separates from the team, he'd probably take that one out, and then maybe that one. But 6 ability points per billbot. You need to make sure it's resource building heavy at the front to get them points back. Because you've got to think it's 6 for that one, it's 6 for that one, it's 6 for that one, 6 for that for 6, 12, 18, 24 ability points. You can use a Titan as well. Depends on what build box there is, obviously. But it gets expensive, but he's very good. Andrew Stevenson's foot drift is great now. Dale did a great job. Yeah, he's not quite a wall bot yet. That jump over walls, that jump he does, I'm not sold on that. Still struggles, like we said earlier, about any sort of special or warrior bot that doesn't have that rushing shield. Even look like to a degree is struggling a bit recently. And drift sort of falls in that category, but still a really good leveling bot, a good Zen bot, good event bot. So yeah. Darkman's supporting all my squads. I only have 2 4-stars being used. 4-star Blades and 4-star Cybertron Jetfire. I don't have any 4-stars in, I think. All 5-stars, but I've only got about 5 teams, I think. David Lee switched 5-star Dinobot and 4-star Barricade out for 3-star Predacon Inferno and 3-star Knockout. I don't think you'd be unhappy with that when you go and test it, honestly. I don't think you will. David Lee's put Alpha Triangle also, so points not too much of a big deal. Oh, see, still there. Not too big of a deal. Yeah, but don't forget that the Alpha Triangle takes its time to get the points back. Ninja Master Builder with over 700 crystals on my account. Can I get some? I hope we can get some real good bots. There's something I want to comment about that. I noticed someone in another chat. And there was sort of like a mid to high level player. And they sort of shown a screenshot of them saving like, I think it was like a few hundred prems. And like, yeah, I'm saving them for something good. And I was like, but have you got loads of 5-star bots? And like, no, I've got like, I think it's like 10 5-star bots maybe. And I sort of said that, I know that I sit on here and say I'm saving resources and I'm hoarding. But that's pretty much because I've got everything that I need in the game. There's not much that I need. So I'm not hoarding unnecessarily. I'm hoarding to stay way ahead of the meta. Because I'm pretty much up to date with the meta. Although I don't really war at a higher level. It's not because I can't. It's because I choose not to. And it's because of time constraints. I literally spoke to someone in our leadership the other day and was like, you know, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about something else. And I said, like, any idea of moving up? And I was like, no, because I don't have the time to do an attack, maybe fail, wait an hour, log in again. And I've said to Space Ape, I said, listen, this is what's killing the game, is the time constraints on war. That's why no one wants to do wars, because the amount of time it takes, especially at a higher level. You know, at lower levels, if you fail in a war, you're like, all right, okay, and that's it. High levels is so much like you've got to do. In terms of communicating, in terms of talking about it, in terms of analysing it. Because war's a massive deal at high level. I just don't have the time, resources to do that with obviously 2 young kids that are active and with a, you know, quite a demanding job. So that's the only reason. But I could go and compete at a higher level tomorrow if I wanted to. But for that reason, there's nothing I really want. The things that I might want because I'm like, oh, I try this attack out, but I could do that on a playtest account, so I don't need to try it. You know, I could probably go and get Senses tomorrow, Rotorstorm. I mean, I'm leveling bots and endurance. Is it going to change my war scores? No, it's not. Do I want to level them to something to do, to have fun in the game? Yes, just to try something out. I'm going to try and cut my spending down on Mayhem mode and see if I can do it in good time still without spending as much. But still leveling some bots, see how much that costs. So I'm doing some sort of testing for my channel really. I'm not really doing it for any other reason. And so the point I was getting was like, if you're at that stage, guys, where you've got pretty much everything you need, then yeah, hoard some stuff waiting for the next meta. But if you're not up to that meta yet, if you haven't got Predacon Inferno, you haven't got Pipes, you haven't got Minerva, and you haven't got maybe you know, some of the top bots like Sea Spray, maybe Warpath, all these bots that most of the top players use, Air Raid maybe. There's quite a few. If you haven't got all these bots, don't hoard, guys. Go and get them. Go and open your crystals. Go and get them, because if a new build bot comes out tomorrow and it's a anti-freeze build bot, I don't know, I'm just making something up. Nothing in test proviso, guys, honestly. But let's just say they do. A lot of top players might need that. But, you know, if you're a mid to lower level player or Cybertron below player, you're not going to need it because most Cybertron bases don't have new cores. You'll find a lot of FFDs in Cybertron League, where in Prime League it's a lot of anti-acid, a lot of anti-fire cores because they've got the new meta, because they've got the resources to go and get it. So don't hoard too much if you don't have everything you need. Go and get what you need. And once you've got that, then consider hoarding resources to keep up with the meta. So just a proviso, guys. Volcanic 69 has been born in Prime League. Cool. Hopefully I will catch up with you one day. We sort of go between Cybertron and Prime. Downton's going for Razor Claw on next pull. Well, I'll go for Predaking one as well. So yeah. What else? Talk of Beachcomber for a raid team. Yeah, be a decent bot after that reflect. Quarantines, but that's why my war strategy is Leroy Jenkins. Volcanic 69's put my war squad is about 47k. Yeah, decent. Yeah. Remove the recharge time for wars. I think so. I really do. I really do. Downton's got 100 banked 4-star crystals in the bridge. Yeah, I've got similar, I think. 25 to, yeah, I've got more than that. I think I've got 100 is what? So 25,000 is 1. 25k is 10. 250k is 100. Yeah, I've got about 154 stars saved up. Supreme Rules was able to do 76,000 free to play in the last Mayhem. That's absolutely amazing. That's impressive. But we had to use all his Shaniks for all 13. Doesn't matter though, it's free. You know, but when we say free to play, does that include a Cyber Pass? Because I've seen a lot of people go, I've done it free to play, and I've gone, oh, I'm 50 cells. They've gone, oh no, 75. Right, well, technically that's not free to play. You know, it's close, but it's not technically free to play. For me, free to play is you are unable to buy anything in the game, unable to purchase anything. You know, I actually had a conversation with someone, mentioning no names, in one of the chats, and they said, yeah, I am free to play, but I spent $80. I was like, then you're not free to play. I'm like, well, pretty much. No, you're not. If you've spent $1 on your account, you are not free to play. You're not. I'm sorry. That's not free to play. It doesn't count. Sorry. Yeah, I'll never understand cooldown stopping using bots in base trials. Yeah, I think it's they can't get around it. I don't think that's why. David, these put with all these BB cores now, I feel like they might just add another BB with HQ 18 phase 4. That's the feeling. Problem is, though, the more they add, the more harder it gets. I think we're saturated now with build bot cores, and now they need to start thinking outside the box. But I don't think Spaceship had the ability to do that. That's the problem. Jamie Carpenter's bought in primarily hard one now. It's take out the fire BBs. I don't even give FFD a second thought anymore. Yeah, we can take them out with Predacon Inferno and Leo Prime, so yeah. Supreme Rules, I was gifted a pass, that's fine. If you've not spent, if you've been gifted a pass, that is fine. Unless you are buying it on your main account and gifted it to your alt account, then no, that doesn't count, because you're still spending in a way. Yeah, Downton's spot Antidote, Fire Dome, and Anti-Hack are the only BBs I look for. Yeah. Free to play in your headspace. Cool. Okay, well, let's look at some bots like we've been doing for the last couple of streams and try and make some good setups of bots. So, like I said, carrying on from last week, looking at some bots, some good setups. So the first one we're going to look at this week is Warpath. So, Warpath setup. So, when we talk about gunners, there's some obvious combats that are very easy to go put them on. So, I'd say the two main combats you're going to see on gunners is glitch and nightstick. And that will be the option for every single gunner we do in this series, pretty much. Glitch and nightstick will be the go-to combats. And from now on forever, that will be the case with Top Shot and Flak, bots like that being other options. And then behind them, you've got the likes of, say, Fire Drive. But let's just concentrate on glitch and nightstick, and we'll talk about why each of them is preferential and which one might suit you better, depending. So the good thing about Warpath's ability is that it's infinite. So some bots that we're going to talk about shortly don't have infinite range, and so then you have to have a bit more of a decision on whether you want glitch or not. And the reason is that when you equip glitch on a gunner, it makes them sit a lot further back than most other combats. But when you've got infinite range, it doesn't really matter. What you've got to consider is when you put glitch on a gunner and it reduces the range of their abilities, it just means that you can't quite get to that defense that you want to because your bot is sat maybe 4 squares back than it would if you put on another combat. So glitch is not beneficial in terms of range, but because we're talking Warpath with infinite range, glitch is probably perfect for him. Now, the good thing about putting glitch on as well is that he sits so far back that when your tanks are getting AoE damage from, say, mortars, it doesn't hit your gunners because they're so far back. And what you also find is that when you've got a HQ and you've got defenses behind it, that say most of your tanks get killed, that glitch sits that far back that they can take the HQ out from range without getting hit. So pretty much, if you take out beam lasers, mortars, and launchers, maybe even MDS to a degree, glitch can outrange everything else. So any cannons and any turrets left over, glitch outranges them so it doesn't hit your bots. So what you find is that sometimes in wars, that bots with glitch are the last bots left over to take out the HQ. So glitch is a very good option. Now, you can put on nightstick because it gives you healing. That's a big plus for nightstick, and the fact it has acid, which does it does well with other combats and other weapons that have fire and acid and the cosmic rust blaster and things like that, that elemental damage. So nightstick absolutely is brilliant, probably the best combat in the game, but it does give you that bit of a shorter range that most other combats have as well. So if you want range on your Warpath, definitely pick glitch because it'll make him sit right back and it's not going to affect the ability at all. If you want healing, if you want damage, if you want elemental damage, then pick nightstick. And that's literally just down to choice and preference. In terms of Warpath's core, you're talking volatile mixture, you're talking his G1 core. Volatile mixture does 15.5%, his G1 does 19.3%. So very similar. Volatile mixture will do regardless. It's still only 2 hits with his abilities to take out billbots and things like that. But if you can get his G1, brilliant. But it's not the end of the world if you don't. But his G1 just gives you that bit extra. But you've got to think that for 4% and for all those resources, if you're not a top level player, I wouldn't be too worried about getting his G1 and concentrate on volatile mixture. If you've got the resources, then yeah, you might as well go for the extra 4%. But yeah, that is the setup for Warpath. Very good at taking out billbots from the launch pad, taking out a line of defenses, just hitting it once, getting that glass gas at ability 11, and then hitting it again to take a massive row of defenses out at even the highest level of the game. Gets expensive at 5+2, but still a really good bot for high level wars. And the next one we're going to look at, for similar sort of reasons, is Sea Spray and Octopunch. So you can see there that Sea Spray is sat with a volatile mixture. Ability 11 has that sort of electric damage, stunning in an area, and obviously increases the damage that it does as part of ability 11. And the volatile mixture is pretty much a given with most gunners that do damage in an area. No G1 yet, which is surprising, but I imagine that will come and have a similar setup to Volatile Mixture. When we're talking about Combat Bot, similar to what we said about Warpath in our other video, that it's literally a choice between Glitch and Nightstick. But as we talked about Warpath in our other video and said that Glitch didn't impact him because he had infinite range, this is slightly different for Seaspray because Seaspray doesn't have infinite range. He has great range, but not infinite range. And so putting Glitch on Seaspray reduces that range of ability. It takes that extra few squares, which is like one extra defense that he won't take out. And I've had a few times where I've had Glitch on Seaspray and I've wanted to hit a certain defense and it's been slightly out of range and I'm like, oh god, I could do with that extra few squares. And so I look at it and think, yeah, I could probably do it putting Nightstick on him for the healing and for the elemental damage and for the acid. But then I've also had Nightstick on Seaspray and he's died, killing the sort of hitting the HQ with defenses behind the HQ. And because he's got a shorter range, I thought I could probably do with having Glitch on him really. Because if he had Glitch on him, it could have killed the HQ from range and those defenses wouldn't have hit him. And so there's no right and wrong answer between Glitch and Nightstick. It's literally down to preference. And different situations mean they're both as good as each other in different ways. And yeah, I'm not going to advise either way. But I would definitely look at Nightstick and Glitch. There are other options. You could probably put Flak. But I'd say Flak to mix with Primer. I wouldn't put Primer on Seaspray because I want Volatile Mixture to do more damage. So I would stick to Nightstick or Glitch as a best setup. I would stick to Volatile Mixture for Seaspray and use them to do incredible damage in a crazy area. Been a good bot for a long time and I can't see him going too much away from the meta anytime soon either. Next up, we've got Optimal Optimus. So Optimal Optimus, special bot, lots of damage. And that's what we need to focus on. That he's there to do damage. He's not there to protect your team. He's not there to do anything else other than huge damage in an area. Now, because he does fire damage, but because he does fire damage in an area away from him, you can consider using certain combats with acid. Now, the problem with that is that with the acid combats is that you can't guarantee when that's going to happen. It's every 10 seconds. So, yeah, you can use that. It's going to be good to get the, 50% of his DPS, which is about 500, 600 DPS in an area, added onto his fire, which is amazing. It does about 10k in an area, quite a big area as well. So that acid can be beneficial. But for me, because he's a frontline bot, but because he's a special bot, I think to myself, he needs to stay alive. That's my focus, is keeping him alive. You can't use his ability to really keep him alive in any way. It doesn't protect him. And so you need other ways to protect him instead. So that's why I generally put Alchemist on him. Personally. I know some other people will put other prime cores on. They may put Liege on. It depends on your preference and how you're going to use them. But I always look to try and look at my bot's shortfalls and try and give them a core or a combat or something to get rid of those shortfalls and help them. And like I said, one of his shortfalls is that he dies quite easy. 38,000 health sounds like a lot, but it's not when you compare to the likes of Pipes that goes up to like 60, 70,000 HP when they're under their shield. So Alchemists, because it heals him while it does his damage and damage in an area. And then I like to put Primal Star Saber on, because literally it gives him extra damage, which is obviously always beneficial on a bot that does high damage anyway. But it also gives you that Optimus Prime Hollow that protects him a bit, puts that hollow in front of him and gives him that bit extra protection. Obviously then it has that massive strike coming down, does 2.5 times the equipped bot's damage. And because he's there for damage with 1,200 DPS times 2.5, you're talking like nearly 3,000 damage in an area, added on to what he's already doing. So the Primal Star Saber is there for the extra damage. The Alchemist is there to keep him alive. Now again, you could easily change Primal Star Saber for Bash Breaker to add that acid to that fire. It's always beneficial. You can also use Enerax, which gives them that increased health. You see that quite a bit on people using in wars. For a simple reason, like I said, is to give them that increased health. We're talking about what he lacks, and it is health, it is healing, it is protection. So any sort of combat that can protect him, give him extra HP, you know, give him something to keep him alive, that will be beneficial for Optimus. You do have his core. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't even think I've even got it on live. I don't think I've got it on core, on test even to show you. It sort of vectors him back in time. I'm not a fan of that. If I wanted Vector on him, I would put Vector on him. But I'm not a big fan of the Vector core. Gives him that extra lease of life. Yeah, but then my sort of take on that is don't let him die in the first place. I'm not one of these people that are like, oh, if he dies, just don't let him die. Through good pathing, through protection, through using other bots to keep him alive. But still a very good bot, massive damage dealer, and try and give him something that sort of focuses on keeping him alive and doing more damage. You can add him a combat and a core to keep him alive. You can add a combat and a core to give him more damage. Whichever way you want to sort of go with him is up to you. But I would definitely focus around damage or protection or a bit of both. Next bot is everyone's favourite bot, Pipes. So Pipes, probably the best warrior in the game. Used for great effect for acid in an area, for popping outposts, for distracting bots. So the big question is, what do you give the bot that's kind of got a bit of everything, really? So for me, I like Quintus Prime Core on him. Some of the people will use a bit of Megatronus because you've got acid. You're mixing that with the fire. Some people put Alpha Trion just to put a Prime Core in there. Some people put Micronus. Some people will put Nexus in there. So their combiner can do an extra ability. You see a lot of Prime Cores on Pipes because he doesn't have his G1. But for me, that Quintus Prime Core, having Sharkticon to 20% of that health and damage, considering that he's got, incredible HP, adding Quintus in there, giving all them Sharks around 15k HP, just means it just protects your team even better. In terms of combat cores, again, you can focus on acid, you can focus on fire. It's up to you, really. Me personally, I like the hack immunity that you get from Buzz Strike or that you get from the Forge of Solus Prime, because I like to rush him into that shield gen area and sort of do a bit of damage and then use other bots to take that area out, whether that's Roadbuster, whether it's Sea Spray, whether it's Predacon Inferno, mixing that acid from Pipes with Predacon Inferno. But you do need that hack immunity. The last thing you want to do is rush Pipes in, him to get hacked from the age, which you normally find around that cluster, and then start to walk off. You want to keep him in that sort of that kill box area. Rushing Pipes in, use Predacon Inferno, using Sea Spray, keep him alive, do that acid. That's generally why I tend to put hack immunity on him. Then you've obviously got extra DPS, which helps a tank really. But you've got healing in there, which is the main... I'd say the main appeal from Solus Prime for me is the revive that brings him back to life. I know I said I don't really like Vector on some bots, but it's like I don't equip Forge of Solus Prime for the Vector, but it's a good addition to what is already on there, which is the healing and which is the hack immunity. That's the two things that I put Forge of Solus Prime on. If you don't have that, even the likes of Jazzy, which blocks % of damage, increases health, is already an amazing tank already. The fact that it removes shields is still a really, really good option for Pipes. And as I said, along with obviously Buzz Strike, which obviously has hack immunity as well, and then does damage and increase the bot's DPS. I'm not a fan of increasing DPS on warriors too much. I more go for protection, hence why I said I like the hack immunity and I like the healing of the Forge of Solus Prime. That's why I equip that, not for the damage part of it. I'm not a fan of putting damage onto warriors. And then obviously, like I said, Quintus Prime Core for me, or any Prime Core that you want to fit within your team, does really well and fits really well within these warriors. Can you hear the washer going off? I've literally got the washer on. And that's really annoying. It's just ticking away. Hopefully it's going to finish quite soon. I'll see one more comments and I'll finish the last one off. Hopefully win this. Let's have a look at this washer a minute. How's it got? Oh, great. 18 minutes. Great. In fact, I'm not gonna do the last one for now. I'm gonna do that next week. We'll stick to them four for now, and I can leave that just kicking off. What else? Next is support. Our country's been under boycott for more than 40 years. The game won't let me spend money in it. Where are you from? Is that out of interest? Let me know. I haven't paid a dime into the game since all the stuff is available for free. It's just skins and side pass that aren't available. Darklands Megatronus as well, in case it's hackable. Megatronus as well, in case it's hackable. I don't know what I mean by that. Andrew Stevenson put, how about put 2 abilities on current defense? I think I watched the stopping now, actually. I don't know how to do that. I suggested putting them on cores originally, but over deaf ears. Next, I said the commanders gifted him the past couple times. That's fair enough. Yeah, why not? I can't pronounce your name. Apologies. What is Binder Bond? The Binder Bond is used for taking combat to level 11. Not ability 11, which everyone says. Level 11. But it's very sort of like high level of the game. I wouldn't bother with binary bonds unless you're like you know, the pinnacle of the game, honestly. Jamie Carpenter's put, is it crazy to take 4-star fracas to 11 Wozza? No. I would literally put the 4-star fracas over most 5-star combats. I really would. So no. I would definitely do it. As in, not no, don't do it. As in, no, don't worry about it. Go and do it. It's not crazy at all. If you've got your €100 to spend or 100 whatever, and you can afford the binary bond, I would say you're better spending that $100 on the endurance this weekend, leveling some bots. Even if you just spend $40, $60, and then on the endurance, you're gonna get more out of that than buying the binary bond, honestly. Yeah, what kind of support is funny? Nights take as a Septicon in lore, but not what in game. Yeah, it's a bit mad that. ZB, which 5-star combat should I get? Literally just said glitch, nightstick. Definitely some of the best. Next is what alliance I'm in. I'm in like G166 ops. I've dropped down from top level wars for that reason. I'm just struggling for a bit for time, really, with all the sort of like rules and things you put in place in top level wars. You can get time consuming. But yeah, for those that don't know, I played at a top level for a long time. For a long time. I've literally played this game for 9 years now. For a while, anyway. Andrew Stevenson's put, recently got the BBE but then had to wait for 1 million spark. Ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. Should never put that 1 million spark cost and the BBE cost on it. Steve Pierce put, I got a Cosmic Blaster on my Sea Spray and Nightstick on my 6 gun, both with volatile cores. Yeah. Decent setup. I can't remember when Sea Spray couldn't even take down a build bot. Yeah. God, that's a while back. And then they buffed him and I spent a lot of money chasing him. The 4-star as well. Sickening. Welcome to the stream. I wish I could pronounce your name. But it is an English stream. Apologies. If someone wants to translate and let him know anything, then you can do. I don't mind. But obviously try and please keep the language to a minimum other than English, just because I don't want people having conversations in other in other not dialects. What we're talking about in other languages, and I don't know what I'm talking about obviously in stream. So yeah, apologies. But yeah, I really wouldn't worry about binary bonds unless you're at the top level of the game, honestly. Oh, next is from Iran or Persia. All right, cool, good to know. Shanks has put there's 2 nightsticks in law. Really? I thought there was only one. Which was the cartoon, obviously. Yeah. Snowy Days, welcome to the stream. Feeling better now? Yeah, I'm 80% there, 90% there. Can't say the same for the wife, but yeah. Do I have a 3D printer? No, it's nothing I've ever really like got into really 3D printing. I don't know. You got me thinking now. Maybe something I want to get into. Next up, so I always talk about the endurance this weekend, and I know that the bot isn't quite finished yet. We don't have all the stats about him and how he's going to be. We're going to talk about it shortly, obviously, but I always talk about endurance events and whether the bot matters. Because I feel myself doing these endurance events, not for the bot, but for other reasons. Now, at the minute, 5-star shards are becoming a bit more scarce because there's some bots coming out that everyone needs. People need to go back to batches to go and get the bots for Volcanicus, to go and get the bots for Computron, maybe even Defensor, and every other 5-star combiner that's going to be coming into the game over the next year. People are going to need a lot of 5-star shards to go back and get these bots. And so you've got to start thinking that they're going to bring out more and more 5-star bots for combiners as time goes on over this year. There's still plenty of 5-star bots they need. I would go as far as saying there's probably about 12 to 15 5-star bots they still need to put in the game to get all the 5-stars as all the combiners as 5-star combiners. And so that's going to be a lot of shards and a lot of batches to get these bots. And so if we get the endurance bots that are not combiner bots, that are not part of batches yet, that are eventually going to be part of batches, it saves you a pull. Now, I've never been a fan of this sort of, it saves you a pull, that's why I'm going for it. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to spend $140 to save myself a 5-star pull when I've got loads of 5-star shards. Anyway, and I can clear the batch regardless. But what's happening that I can see is that, yeah, I've got enough to maybe clear the next batch or the next 2 batches, but not for the next 3 batches. And what I'm finding is the endurance events are not as costly anymore. It's not costing you $140 to compete in endurance. You can literally do an endurance for like $20, $40 nowadays. And so you've got to think to yourself, is $20 or $40 worth saving yourself a pull for a 5-star combiner piece? I would say yes. I would say it is. Because you're also getting the 5-star shards from the event. You're also getting the spark, which you're going to need for these bots. And you're saving yourself a pull for like $40. The time it also takes with Mayhem mode is a fraction of what it used to. And so all of a sudden I feel like endurance events are kind of like a must-have if you want 5-star combiners. If you're a player there right now thinking, I want to get all the combiners as 5-stars, I would advise you to go and compete in every single endurance event. Every single legacy event. It's going to save you a lot of 5-star shards. It's very rare that we see a 5-star pull for $20. We have seen it a couple of times as like special offers. But when you think that every endurance, every 8 weeks, you're going to save yourself a 5-star pull for $20 to $40, it's kind of a no-brainer. And I'm not one of these on this channel that's going to go and spend, guys, go and spend, just to sort of please Space Ape or to look like I'm favourable to Space Ape. I've literally just spoke earlier about BBE saying like, listen, if you're a low to mid and not even a high level player, don't bother with BBE. Don't be enticed by that $100. It's a waste of money. save your $100 and go and compete in the endurance events. Now, we're hoping the bot is really good. But for me, it's not about the bot itself. The bot can be awful. The fact that it saves me a pull, the fact I'm getting 5-star shards, the fact I'm getting loads of spark, whether it be combiner spark to upgrade my Raiden, whether it be combat spark to upgrade all the weapons I've just got, or whether it's normal spark to upgrade the actual endurance bot or another bot that I've pulled. The resources that you get from the endurance events far outweigh waiting for 5-star shards and waiting for batches. So if you're on the fence about this endurance and going for the 5-star, and you're waiting to see what the 5-star is like, I don't blame you. I understand it. But look at it from a different perspective. Consider going for it, not for the bot, but for what it saves you in the long run and the resources that you're going to get from it. And think about that. So let me know in the comments. Has this sort of convinced you to go for the 5-star? Maybe. You know, are you convinced that it only takes about $40 to compete in the Mayhem mode? I've got loads of videos showing people how to make the most out of Mayhem mode and get that, you know, that high score of 90,000 points for next to nothing in next to no time as well. Go and check them out, guys. It is doable. Go and try it out. Maybe I would go with the endurance. If you're a mid-level player, go and find the Alliance. There's plenty out there going for the 5-star. If you succeed, let me know how it went. So looking at Jason Rowley's put about Wing Saber. We're going to have a look in a minute. Don't you worry. Grandstan's put, I'm not going back to get them bots. Alpha Tryon told me to watch your streams and videos. Alphatron. If I'm not wrong, he's in the same alliance for you, Wozza. Oh, right, okay, cool. And he was right. You're a really nice person. Thanks for all the advice. I hope it helps. I really do. I set this channel up years ago for that exact reason. I've told the story a few times. I hope you don't mind me telling it again. If I've told it 5 times, 10 times already, I apologise. But obviously not a lot of the new players have heard it. But literally someone in my alliance was, you know, I'm kind of a student of the game, I think. I like to know everything in the game and what's happening and how to do things and try and get the best out of it. And someone just was struggling with base design and just said, like, can you help me? Did a video, tried to send it in. It wouldn't post in the line chat. Like, right, I can't send it there. It wouldn't post on Discord because you need to be obviously a Nitro member to post this size. But it was like 20 minutes long. But I'd not even realised, I hadn't thought about it really, but I was trying to cover everything. Long story short, I could not send it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and put it on YouTube. Went to put it on YouTube. Oh, you need to create an account. I was like, oh, right. Okay, great. So I thought, right, what am I going to call it? So literally, my in-game name was Sunstreaker. It has been since I played Transformers Legends. It has been since I played Battle Tactics. It was Wozza. And I've actually spoke to the guys like, God, you'll remember Wozza82. That was my original handle, Wozza82. And I changed it to Sunstreaker because not everyone had Sunstreaker. Everyone had Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, Galvatron, Triptychon, all these things. I wanted something a bit different. Chose Sunstreaker. And I literally just called it Sunstreaker. And I thought, my name, Wozza. I literally called it Sunstreaker Wozza. I was like, right, yeah. I put the video up. I've called the channel name Sunstreaker Wozza. There wasn't a banner. There wasn't a banner. There was nothing. Just one video. Go and check it out. And it started to get like about 100 views, which at the time I was like, wow, 100 people have watched this video. Because he was like, kind of shared it to me, mate. Like, you know, it's a really good video. I was like, yeah. It's like, I go do more about Outpost bots. And I was like, well, yeah, I can do, yeah. So I did another video and put that on, and someone was like, oh, could you do a video on this? Like, I could do, like, you know, some help on this. I was like, yeah. And also started getting requests for videos going like, can you do a video on this? Can you do a video on that? And if you go back and look, you'll see that a lot of the original ones, there was things like that, and a lot of the players that were doing videos already were doing crystal openings. So that's literally what I was doing. Just did a bit of like a videos to whatever people asked me to help them with, and crystal pulls, and it just snowballed from there. It's simple, just helping a teammate out. Helping a few colleagues in my alliance, and just went from there. So, you know, sometimes, guys, you can just start something, not because you go out to create a YouTube channel. That was never the aim. It just happened, and then I was like, you know what? And then I did it a bit here and there. Did a video once a month maybe, and then obviously then COVID happened. I was sat at home, not working. I was like, you know what? I'm going for it. I'm going to buy a PC. I'm going to do this properly, and then that's where it started. So, yeah. Whispers put Badassatron. um, Calvin's put, it's not the endurance event, it's the real life time that isn't worth it. I want to spend time with my family and sleep. Mayhem and endurance is like the reason I would play them. Yeah, and Mayhem has changed that. I've said I haven't done an endurance event or a legacy event for about 2 years. Not one. I've not bothered. I think Braun was the last one I did, to be an idea, and that was what, 2022? I think maybe early 23, maybe. And I've literally just started doing endurance events again and legacy events for the reason of Mayhem mode. I think Mayhem mode is the best thing brought to the game ever. I would go as far as saying ever. Honestly, amazing. Darklands has put Taz Kid still wasn't worth it. No, but he will be when they bring the next 5-star batch out and it saves you a pull. Let's just say in the next 5-star batch, again, I'm just guessing. Don't quote me on this. Let's just say that Cup and Dead End and Trax and Cutthroat are in the next batch. And everyone's like, oh my god, I want those bots. If you've already got Cosmos and Tasmanian Kid, you only got 3 pulls to get both of them bots that are combiner bots for, well, Decepticons. Not all bots. But you see what I'm getting at. That if there's 2 combiner parts in there, if you've already got them 2 already, it's saved you 2 pulls. You only need 15,000 shards to clear that batch. Whereas me, because I didn't take part in those events back then, because it wasn't Mayhem mode, I've got to get 5 pulls for it. I might get lucky, but I might not. So, yeah. Taking part in that event, although it's crap bot and not worth it at the time, it saved you a pull. So think of that way. Think of it that way. Snowy Days, I'm only interested in leveling and resources. Then yeah, you can do that in Mayhem mode. Dead easy. See you later, Nexus. Thanks for joining the stream. Darklands was the character name I came up with when I started playing tabletop Star Wars in the 90s, and it's stuck ever since. Sounds good. Good idea. Grind time. I remember your videos before you showed your face on stream, voice only. I really miss those days. I miss your channel, Grind Time. You need to start your channel up again. That's what you need to do. Whistler's put, how good is my war team? Ironhide, Pipes, Jazz, Sea Spray, Minerva Blaster, Rhinox, Blades. Get rid of Jazz. I love Jazz in lore, but he's awful in game. I'd look at something else. Supreme Rose put, man was Mega Supreme from the beginning. Yeah, everyone had sort of like, you know, the most well-known bots. Had to make it unique. Yeah, that's why I went Sunstreaker. That's for example, it's trying to be something a bit different. And literally I found another Sunstreaker in this game. It's quite funny. And we were like, I'm the real Sunstreaker. No, I'm the real Sunstreaker. I think my IGN was actually Sunstreaker 82 at the time. So I know it's like SS Wozza now. Because that's what links with my YouTube a bit more. Because of course Sunstreaker and people going, are you Sunstreaker Wozza? Or are you the other one? And I was like, it's really annoying that it's 2 Sunstreakers. And so I changed to SS Wozza just to make it clear that it was me when you were facing me in wars and you knew it was me, that's all. Yeah, Carnage Mac, I put saving pulls is a great idea unless SA release batches with only endurance bots. But they would not do that, would they? I don't think so. I doubt it. I doubt it. Cool, right. The bit that everyone has joined us for. Let's have a look at the new endurance bots. So the new endurance bot, Wing Saber. So I know that some people have said, Wozza, can you cover the Decepticon version? The Decepticon version is very similar to the Autobot version, but obviously I leave Freesius to go and concentrate on that. I could probably show him in the showroom, which I don't mind showing that. So there is Dreadwing, again, his G2 version. Not really happy about that, really. But there he is in the showroom. Transform him. I was very excited to hear him come into the game, but I think his artwork has really let him down. I think he looks a lot like Viper, is it? Have we got Viper? Let's have a look at Viper. Let's see if I'm right, considering I'm not even Insectagon. Yeah, not quite. Obviously, Viper's a bummer. But, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Like, it's just a small jet. Not a fan of the artwork of Dreadwing, if I'm honest with you. Looks a bit... Nah. Autobots wise, let's have a look at Wing Saber in the showroom. So Wing Saber, I think Wing Saber looks pretty cool. I thought that the Autobots would have the rough end of the, of the scale in this, really. But I think it looks pretty cool, Wing Saber. Reminds me a bit of Star Saber by his colouring. Not a big fan of the transformation. Not sure how accurate it is. I've never heard of him in lore, to be honest with you. But I think bot mode, pretty cool. Transformation's alright, but I like the look of him there. He looks pretty mean, looks pretty chunky. I like it. Pretty cool. So let's have a look at the ability. So, Wing Saber. So, I've actually took him to ability 10. Now, ability 11 doesn't quite work, or doesn't quite work, doesn't work yet. It needs to be fixed. But ability 11 is looking at all the bombs, remove shields. So obviously when we think about this straight away, we think about removing the shield from the shield gen. So just keep that in mind. So the ability is go into stealth mode for 6 seconds, which means that he won't get seen when traveling to the target. So anti-air won't hit him, which is pretty decent. Dropping 8 free-fall bombs while flying to the target. So that sounds a bit like Powerglide. Each dealing half DPS in a small area. So half DPS is around 500 damage to target. This is obviously at 70-10 maxed out pretty much. Also drop a payload to the final target dealing 4 times the DPS, which is about 4,000 damage. This is obviously with an enhanced ordnance on, which increases special ability damage by 26.5%. Currently, he can now equip range combats. He couldn't, but now that has been addressed and he can equip ranged combats. He's obviously air class, so no glitch, but other obviously ranged combats that most other air class can equip, he can equip as well. So let's take him into game. Let's have a bit of a go of him. So, shield gen active. Let's have a go. So, let's drop a warrior down. We'll put Wing Saber behind him. So, in terms of range, he's got very good range. Not crazy range like some have, but he has got very good range. But if you're trying to reach the shield gen from right back here, then you're gonna struggle a bit really. First use is 3 ability points. Let's try and get him in range. Okay, so we've got a target here. Let's try and hit that shock tower. So you can see there. Oh, it's ability 10, so it won't. Let's try and target something else. Let's try and target something low HP. Let's try and target this resource building. You can see there, it's done a bit of damage on the way. Nearly took out that resource building. Try and take one out of here. So you can see there, can't even take out a resource building with ability. So when we're talking about Wing Saber, we're sort of asking ourselves a few questions. So what's his main use? And I've said time and time again that all we need to do is, we don't need to add all these bits and things into him. All we need to do is make him do one thing really good. So what's he designed for? Now, I feel like the problem is that the ability 11 is not going to be available to everyone. So I always think that the ability 11 needs to be something extra to make it worthwhile, but shouldn't be what he's aimed for. So let's take away that out of it. The removing shield is brilliant. I think that's a good idea. But let's take that out of it. Go into stealth mode for 6 seconds. I think 6 seconds is not very long. When we talk about abilities being like 12, 14 seconds that are beneficial, that are really good abilities, 6 seconds feels like we've sort of gone backwards a bit. Dropping 8, 3, 4 bombs. So again, I always think about what is that like? I always compare that to like Power Glide. So he drops 8, 3, 4 bombs, doing 500 damage. Now when we compare that to a bot like Power Glide that does 259 damage for 12 bombs, that means he's doing at level 50 about 500 damage per bomb. So when we're looking at Wing Saber, the bombs he drops is similar to a level 50 Power Glide in damage. But that's only to the target, that's not to the final target. Because he drops 4 times his DPS to the final target. Now 4 times his DPS with an enhanced ordnance is still only 4,000 damage. So I don't know what he's designed to do. He can't one-shot anything. So that 4,000 damage to a final target is kind of irrelevant. Up to ability 10. The half DPS, the 500 ability damage, is nothing. It's not going to do anything. You would literally have to use the ability 20 times to destroy targets in a line. Now you could say, yeah, but if it's super cheap, that might be beneficial with a bit of a cleanup bot. But it's 3 plus 4. So at 3, 7, 11, 15, it gets expensive very quickly. So it's not a cheap cleanup bot. It's not a one-shot bot. It's not really doing much AoE. And the ability 11 is where they're removing the shields at. So from 1 to 10, I think this bot has 0 use in the game of anything decent. And it kind of worries me that when they've developed this bot, they actually think that this is good. Do they really think that 4,000 damage is good in the game? Very strange. Now, when we do add ability 11 in, which again is not working right now, but when we do add that in, that removes shields, it might have a use of getting rid of the shield gen. But we've already got Roadbuster that does that. Now, if this bot did what Roadbuster did, as in damage to the target and did about 14k damage to the final target, if it did that, but it was a ranged bot, I could sit there and go, I could actually see a use for this. If it's, let's just say that it's 3 plus 5 or 5 plus 3, it's a bit cheaper than Roadbuster. So if it's cheaper than Roadbuster, does similar to Roadbuster, but does it as a ranged bot, I can kind of see that a bit going like, okay, I see where they're going with this. They're just trying to bring out an improvement to Roadbuster. Would I go for it? Yeah, maybe, because Roadbuster does die quite easily, and the frontline special bots aren't really beneficial in terms of dying quite quickly. So I can sort of see the appeal of that. But right now, the way it is, it's nowhere near what Roadbuster is in terms of damage alone. So the way that playtests are sort of discussing this is maybe for the ability 11, it could remove shields in an area. That would be pretty good. If you could put that on the cluster and remove all that shield from the shield gen, from anything like the shock towers, then that kind of looks beneficial. But then I thought, well, if he takes out the shield gen and takes out that shield in, then what shields are left? There is no shields really. You've got like the likes of Red Alert and you've got bots like that. But I wouldn't use ability points to remove shields from those, because it'll probably run out quite quickly, quite soon. So although the area removing shields is quite beneficial, I understand that. I'm not really sold on it. If it's going to remove the shield from the shield gen itself, because that's going to be the same thing. So I'm not sold on that completely. But it needs a massive increase, and I don't think the removing the shield should be ability 11. That should be part of 10, ability 10. For me personally, I would switch this round to go into stealth mode for 12 seconds, fly to the target, and do whatever, like 10 times DPS to the target and removing shields on the way or whatever or to whatever. And then I would add the damage in an area as he flies as ability 11. A bit like Jetfire in a way. Now, for me, it just needs amping up. But even when you increase the DPS to the final target, even when you do damage along the way, I still think it's like a sort of Jetfire sort of clone. When we look at Jetfire at ability 11, fly to your target, doing 5,000 damage over 6 seconds, then fire rockets to a target doing 9,000 damage. So it does 5,000 damage on the way and then 9,000 to the final target. So if we do what I said earlier and said that it needs to do 10 times DPS, it's doing around the same as Jetfire. But not fire damage, but it's doing about the same. And then we talk about upping the DPS, you know, and it doing around 5,000 damage on the way, then how are we just going to get a Jetfire clone as the new bot? The removing shields part, ability 11, which I don't like, of removing the shield, I don't know. Is it a bit cheaper than Jetfire? Is it a massive upgrade? I don't know. I just think that, I know I've said in the past that we overthink things sometimes with endurance bots, but I feel like they've tried to think outside the box, but by doing so, not thought outside the box and become very similar to an old bot already, and a weaker version of that as it is. So for me, they should have set out with the minimum of what Jetfire does as a minimum. Now, if they reduce this cost right down, I mean like right down, and I mean like even at 2+2 even, and the increase the stats, I still don't think it's there. But my worry is that we've got a week left, and playtest has been quiet. This bot got released on Monday. There's been a lot of talk in playtest about what needs to be done. The whole of playtest is pretty much united, which I've always said is a worry. When you have everyone in playtest going, this is amazing, you have to stand and think maybe it's a bit overpowered, sadly, and you have to be worried. And then on the flip side, when everyone says it's awful, you need to really bump that up, because everyone is saying it's awful, and literally everyone is saying that and has since Monday, and now it's Thursday night, Friday, and we've not seen a single change to it yet, with 4 days left of work, 5 days left of work before this bot comes into the game. And we've said so many times, I feel like I should get a dictaphone and save, this bot should have come sooner, it's last minute, and now we're struggling for time, it's not going to be ready in time, and we don't want to have the bot being changed over the event like we've seen in the past. Record it, save it, and just play it every time it releases endurance bots now, because it's getting quite ridiculous that we're getting this bots so late, so poor from the get-go, with so many changes needed to them to make them decent. And it's going to come to a point where all these bots are going to come in 5-star batches and have to be reworked, giving them double the workload regardless. Or, as Dale said in my previous interview, that we're going to see these bots go into 5-star batches without any change at all, which is going to be absolute travesty of these bots. I think that the last 6 months has been maybe one of the worst in terms of releases, 5-star releases in a sort of extended period. And I was hoping for a really good bot in time for Christmas, and I can't see that coming. Now, I've said previously that I'm probably going to do the endurance anyway, not for the bot, but to save myself a pull and to get the resources from the 5-star shards and just to enjoy mayhem mode, which I'll probably still do. But if you're doing this endurance for the bot alone, I would think twice. I would keep your bid in just in case, and maybe even next week, maybe even retract it, which is going to cause absolute mayhem and chaos for a lot of the people arranging these events. But I can't see this bot making a massive turnaround anytime soon, sadly, which kills me to say that so soon, so close to Christmas as well, where people are getting a nice shiny new toy ready for Christmas and be, pleased go into Christmas that they've spent on the game and invested in the game. But We'll wait and see. We'll cover it next week, which is the day before the event, to see if they've turned it around. But with us having 0 changes to this in the last 4 days, and with Dale off sick and no sign of him ever coming back anytime soon, because he's quite ill, I'm not convinced we're going to see a lot of changes to this bot, and it's going to be one of those bots that are literally left at level 1, ability 1, without being used. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is there anything you see in this bot where you're like, you know what, I see a use in this Wozza. I can see me using this bot for X reason. Do you see it being used on defense to remove shields from the likes of Pipes and Slug maybe? Is that the reason they got into it? But do we ever see air class bots on defense because of the low HP and low DPS? When I did my videos with Tex, we talked about this. Not having gunners in outposts. We always want warriors and high HP with a good attack. So is it a waste of time put on defense? Let me know what you say. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And we'll see how this is turned around in the next week or so. Let's have a look. Yeah, the graphics are a bit sad. Yeah. Mean and chunky, just like Wozza. Go ahead, transport. Oh. Jason Rowley's put, Wozza, why does it look like he's supposed to link to Optimus? I don't know, does he? You never know. Imagine that. Still don't think that's a reason to go for him, though. Have a look. I think you mean by the colours, maybe. Yeah. Imagine Optimus sort of like slipping in there somewhere or something. I don't know. I'd have to see the toy and see how it's similar it is. But it's... I don't know. I get what you mean, though. It's the same sort of cannons, isn't it, as Optimus has, so, yeah. Whisper, will there be a new story mode challenge next few days? No, I doubt it. Supreme Rules is not impressed. Berserk, the SA11 parts with part of the ability. Yes, I agree. And not for a cost of 3+4. Agreed. Not that there are many shields. Something which removes things like Billbot protection should be good. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's pretty good. Stinger EO does not work because it's base damage multiplier. Maybe. Yeah, 800 points random damage is healed in 2 ticks from a BB. Yeah. Candyman's put Cyclonus great again. I think he will. I think he'll be made relevant anyway. Maybe not War Team bot, but relevant. Yeah, Supreme Rules has put on defense to counter shield. Someone later on has asked, can I test it? Obviously, the shield, the removing shield part is not even working, even if I wanted to, so there's no point in doing that, even trying it. Do we know if the shield remover of the new bot is usable on the HQ? No, it won't be. If it does, it will be fixed, so yeah. Candyman, I kind of feel like pulling out the endurance event now. I know, yeah. Don't really want to spend money on this turkey, yeah. King Grimlock has put not an endurance worthy bot. End of story. It's like bad faith negotiating. Yeah, it should have been a lot better from the start. Down to put 2+2 needs to be a start. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, but even then, Berserk, they are trapped by old ideas. They just need to think outside the box a bit more. Singers put, so we don't make Power Glide better and give us the upgrade as a new bot. I know, yeah. But he is coming. Power Glide and Cyclones are coming eventually. What's the spot? I think we can use Wing Saber as an output spot. You try, yeah, like I said, it's not working, so we can't. Yeah, Snowy Days put this make more warriors instead. Yeah, we've had a lot of warriors and special bots recently, so I get trying to do an air bot, something different, but it's just not working. Snowy Days, I would really like a warrior like Beast Wars Iron High with lower cost. Yeah, Beast Wars Iron High is pretty OP, really, especially at lower levels, so yeah. Darklands, not sure about him, I think. We'll keep bid and save a pull. We'll level up like the other 4-star. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Whisper, it looks like the new Age of Prime's storyline, Optimus Prime, the 13. You're not better than me. Carnage Mac Aritis put, how high can you make his DPS since that's how you maximize his SA damage? I suppose you could, maybe. Let's have a look. But even then, you've got to think that half his DPS, even if you double this, it's still only 1,000 damage. If you double it, and you're not going to. So even if you had, like, increased by 32%, so even if you had a 32% increase in his thingy, you're still talking that instead of 500 damage in an area, it's now going to do 650. And 4, rather than 4k, it's now going to do 5k. So even adding a massive, you know, DPS increase like the Cosmic Rust Blast that most do at 32% as a 5-star maxed out, even adding a maxed out weapon or combat on him, it's still going to give you like an extra 1,000 damage. So only 5,000. So if you use this twice, put that way, if it removes shields and does 4 times DPS, you're talking 10,000 damage for 3 plus 7, which is 10 ability points. 10k damage, 10 ability points, which can be healed, because it's not acid. And when you compare that to the likes of Robuster, who does 13k in 1 hit, and half of that, so and 6.5k on the way to the target, it's no comparison for 6 ability points. So he's nowhere close to Robuster at all. Not even close. I think they'd have to double the stats. I think you'd have to do, no, I think 10 times DPS to a target and removing shields and do the 4 times DPS on the way, even to get close to Robuster. Just to get close to him. Not to surpass him, just to get close to him. 10 times and 4 times. Do that for 3 plus 4. Then he's alright. Then he's okay. But not amazing. But, yeah. Try an attack core also. I'm pretty sure that Enhanced Ordnance will still increase his ability damage regardless. So the attack core, 26.5%. But an attack core won't increase by 26.5% or thereabouts. So I don't think an attack core will even work either. So yeah. Yeah, listen, we can sit here all night and go like, oh, let's add this core, but we're not gonna make this 2.5 times what it is. We're not gonna make this 3,000 DPS, are we? No matter what we do. You know, it's 4 times this, and we need this at about 3,000 to get this worthwhile. We're not gonna get him to 3,000 DPS. No one's even close to that. And we're not gonna get this to 4 times by doing 8 times more DPS some way. You know, it's not going to happen. You know, we're not going to get him close. So it's not going to be worthwhile. I mean, even the likes of, you know, Swoop, you know, 1,000 DPS. You know, we're not getting close. Not a chance. I'm trying to think of a bot that even, look, 1,500. You're not getting close to 3,000 DPS no matter what you try. You're not getting close. We can sort of go through everything to try and get an extra 100 damage out of it, extra few hundred damage, but it's not going to be enough. Nowhere near. Whispers put, why are some bots are way more powerful than others? Well, naturally it's going to happen. Me personally, I always say that the new content should be the most powerful because that's what you want to chase. What you want is you want new players to come to the game, want to spend, and go, right, I'm going to spend on all the new endurance and legacy bots, put them all together, and that's going to get me a top team. Sorry. That's going to give me a top team by doing that, and I can keep up with the meta into the top wars. I can see an end game in sight and make those available to people that are willing to spend and willing to play the game. But if you make it so that they're all in the old batches, you're sort of making people go and do 5 pulls from each batch, and all of a sudden you need like 100,000 5-star shards, and it's going to take you forever. You know, these new bots that come out, these new endurance bots, should be the best bots in the game. It should be. But sadly they're not. Yeah, down on spot. SG Jetfire has the highest DPS in the game, and it's still less than 2,000. Yeah, so 1,500. So yeah. Yep. Well, that is it for next week, guys. I won't be streaming next Thursday, but I might stream next Wednesday instead. The reason being is next Thursday I'm actually out at a gig with my dad. It was supposed to be my wife, but it's actually I'm actually going with my dad instead because the wife has broke her leg, so she can't go. So I'm actually at like a gig next Thursday. The Thursday after that is Boxing Day, so I don't think I'll be streaming on Boxing Day, but I might stream next Wednesday instead. So I will do a bit of an update on my page to let everyone know. I'll probably Wednesday, I think, and then I'll probably do an update on my channel, and I might even stream on Sunday next week as well. I might do a bit of a stream and a play stream maybe, but no promises because it's a bit hectic now getting close to Christmas. But it won't be Thursday next week, just a heads up to everyone. But thanks to everyone for tuning in for this week's stream, much appreciated. Make sure you subscribe to the channel before you leave. Make sure you hit a like on the stream as well. Plenty of content coming for over Christmas regardless, so stay tuned for that. If you're a new player, an experienced player, there's always something for you to find out on the channel to help you get better at the game. So I hope you appreciate the stream. It's helped you in some way. So that's it for this week, guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in. See you next week, guys. Thanks for watching and peace out.